Okay, the date box is made up of these three parts here. Now, there's one thing that I must explain before you use it is do not try and save a system if you are using the date boxes. You'll get a 500 error. This is just something that I kind of need to sort out, but it is causing me a few problems just purely because of the way PR Ratings saves systems, and it kind of saves them day to day. So if you change the date range, the system doesn't like it. But this is great for testing systems and looking at systems at different times. Also, if you have too many selections and can't see the results, you can always go, well, let's look at the last 3 months or 5 months or whatever. So basically just clicking any one of those. You can, if you hold down your shift key, you can select multiples, but there's really no reason for doing it on this one. So just select 1, 2 or 3, but you can select multiples on a lot of things in PR Ratings, but just be careful. And then if you want a date range from, say, just this year, you can do you can do just that. Click the update button and then you'll change from this month to next month. Okay, so the next thing is the number of runners, and by the way, I'm probably going to do these videos pretty much row by row, but it might be less than that because some of these can be quite long-winded. We always used the declared runners, not the actual number of runners. That's just because I've always created PR Ratings for as it is in the cards in the morning. The point of doing it was not that it would change during the day, but that if you looked at it first thing in the morning, that's exactly what you'd see in the race cards as well, in the papers and that kind of thing. So we don't use updated information during the day, we just set it when we get the information in, and that's it. So remember that's declared runners, because you don't know how many runners there's going to be in a race until the last possible minute. In fact, there can be withdrawals right at the time of the race. So I prefer to do it the other way and say, well, how many runners are in that race in the morning, and that kind of thing. Again, you can pick months. You can pick multiple months just by holding down the control key, or you can get ranges by holding down the shift key. So you can do either of them, and the same with days. You can pick different days. These are really good for testing your system and seeing if if there's certain times that it just doesn't seem to work, and you want to be careful of that, because systems should really work throughout the year. Although you could argue that in rainy seasons or hot seasons it might be different, but just use it as a testing bed as well, just to try your systems out on different days and see what it does. Class is pretty self-explanatory. There are generally 7 classes of racing, and you can select one. So if you just wanted to see class 1, you just select those, or you can do it the other way around and click not, and it'll show all the results not including class 1 or not including class 1 to 2, that way around. So you can do it either. I can select 1 to 2 or not 1 to 2, although you could argue I just do 2 to 4. But those not buttons are quite popular, and gradually I'll get more and more in. Going, there's quite a few go-ins. Obviously, standard to slow and slow are a bit weird because that's AW, but you don't know until afterwards, so it's kind of a bit weird, that one. But these are taken the night before when we get the information in, so they're not that accurate. They're a kind of approximate, so you might find during the day that the going does change, so be careful on that. This new major meetings I'm trying to get in is basically you can analyse major meetings. I haven't got as many in as I want to, but hopefully I will get it more up to date as I go along. But yeah, Glorious Goodwood's in there, Doncaster, St Ledger, but there are more that I've got to put in. But hopefully by after Christmas I will have most of those in and ready for you. Distance 5 furlong to 4 miles. Now, we actually receive distances in yards and weird things. I think it's 220 yards to a furlong, and that's how we get races. So I kind of had to wrap everything up to make this possible. But it should be pretty much accurate. So 5 furlongs to 5 furlongs is 220 times by, what's that? Sorry, it's 1,100 yards. So what you will see is down here in the race cards that it's actually in yards. So that's how we get it. But to make it easier to select, I've kind of wrapped that up into actual race numbers or race distances that we're used to. Race order per day, so basically you can just see what happened every day if you just selected race 1. Another great way for testing systems, but also a way of, you know, just looking at the races every day. So that would be race 1, or you could select race 1 to 4. It's just one of those things I kind of came up with and thought it would be quite good to have in the system. Don't forget, whenever you do anything, just update. And also please remember that there is a session logout for 20 minutes. And all you have to do is literally, if you're halfway through, just click the button and it will reset the logout. I am looking at that, but when we had the system cracked a few years ago, and ever since then I've been kind of a bit worried about it, so I kind of keep the session to 20 minutes. So race order by course as well. So whereas this is race order by day, so if we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that, we've got race order per course as well. So basically at knots that's race 1, at knots that's race 2, at knots that's race where is it, 3. So it kind of does it by, you can do it by either race order for the day or race course. And also you can base something on the last race of the meeting, because I've seen systems out there going, oh yeah, you can do this on the last race of the meeting because I don't know, but I put that in there so you can just analyze the last race of the meeting if you want, because you can't really do it the other way. But that actually allows you to say, you know, the last race, because we don't know how many races there are each day. Well, we do, but that's the best way of doing it. Race type, obviously there are lots of race types. Amateur, apprentice, auction. You can the way we get race information is that you can often get like handicap or apprentice da. So there's kind of a few different types of race types tied in one. So the way I've done this is that you can obviously select multiple races again by either control or shift, depending on what you want to do. But you can say only races with amateur in a title, and you know that kind of thing, or only races with handicap in the title, or races with not amateur in the title. So you can kind of do some weird stuff with that, just to prevent you picking up races that you might not want to prevent. It's just that the titles can be quite extensive, and you can end up with, you know, a few races, a few different titles or race types in the title, and you might not use them all. So that's just something to have a look at, auction, apprentice, and that kind of thing. So handicap can have, you know, handicap fillies or handicap this or whatever. So if you only want handicap and nothing else, then that will do it. Courses, obviously, if you see a T, that's today's courses, so that's the courses that are running today. Again, you can go down and multi-select or select a range or whatever you want to do, or you can analyze just one course. I think that's always a good thing to do, is to analyze one course, because, you know, all the courses are different. So, you know, there's no reason why you wouldn't. And course direction, some courses run from left, some courses run from the right. Obviously, if they're a 5 furlong race or 6 furlong race, or probably a lot of the time a 7 furlong race, there probably won't be any corners in it, but sometimes there are. But if the longer races, there are definitely a left and right running a course, so keep that in mind. And the last one on here is the back. Is the bet type, which is back, place. Oh, and I did mention there's not on the course as well, so you can have not air or not banger or not a number of runners. Yeah, so back, place, lay, and Dutch. You're gonna, depending on what you want to do, that automatically resets to different ones. Depending on what you want to do, if you want to back or place, you must remember, if you go to place, this will switch to 5, okay, because that's generally the place payout. So remember that, because if you change back to back, it won't change that runner's back down to 0. It will or 2. It will keep it at 5. So if you do swap from, you know, back, place, later, Dutch, and that kind of thing, be careful, because the number of runners will change as well. And that's it for that line. So that's the first line, and the next video we'll be talking about the next line. Thanks for watching.